Great morning, students. I am Neeraj sir. We are going to study science lesson number 2, part 2. How are you all? I hope you all are doing various creative things at your home and also enjoying them. First four topics we have already covered in the previous video. Now, today we are going to discuss the next topic, that is useful microorganisms. This topic is also very interesting as it is related with our day to day life. So, let us begin this topic. As you can see in the slide, these all are the points which we are going to cover in this topic, useful microorganisms. So let us move towards the first topic, that is curd. Curd is made with the help of lactobacillus. Lactobacillus is a rod shaped bacteria as shown in the first image. Lactobacillus is converting lactose into lactic acid. Lactose is a natural sugar present in milk, and this lactose is converted to lactic acid, which is present in curd. So, milk contains lactose and curd contains lactic acid, and this is done with the help of lactobacillus. And due to this lactic acid, the curd is sour in taste, and due to presence of lactose, the milk is little sweet in taste. Now, you might have observed your mom when she is making curd. She is adding a small amount of curd in warm milk. Why she is taking warm milk? Because the growth of bacteria is faster in warm milk or in higher temperature. So, for increasing the production of, or you can say for increasing the rate of growth of bacteria, the hot climate is favorable. That's why your mother is adding warm milk so that the formation of curd become faster and multiplication of the lactobacillus become faster. Now, yeast. Yeast is a type of fungi. Yeast is used for making breads, pastries, and cakes. So, this yeast is available in the form of small blocks and also in the form of powder. So, this powdered yeast can be used directly. You can do the activity which is shown in figure 2.2. You can take a maida and mix it with yeast powder and adding a small amount of water and sugar, and after keeping it for 2 hours you will see that the maida has been raised or volume of maida is increased. So why is it so? Because yeast reproduces rapidly and produces carbon dioxide during respiration, and bubbles of the gas fill the dough and increases its volume. This is the basis of use of yeast in the baking industry for making breads, pastries, and cakes. So when the yeast multiplies itself and it releases carbon dioxide, due to pressure of this gas, the volume of the maida is increased, and due to this increased volume, it is more fluffier and more smooth. Now, once the maida is raised, it is baked for killing the yeast, and after baking, it is ready to eat. In short, yeast is sacrificing its life for us. Next is commercial use of microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for the production of alcohol, wine, and acetic acid, which is also known as vinegar. So, this vinegar is used for adding taste in the foodstuff, and also vinegar is used as a preservative for making pickles and all. Now, the process of this conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. So, this fermentation is used for this commercial use of microorganism, and the sugars which are used for this fermentation are natural sugars which are present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, and also in crushed fruit juices. So Louis Pasteur discovered this fermentation in 1857. Now this activity is very simple, you can read and understand it very easily. Now, medicinal use of microorganisms. So microorganisms are used for making antibiotics. So we will go towards the history of antibiotics. So first antibiotic is discovered by Alexander Fleming. This discovery is by chance. You can see the diagram. In a petri dish, he has kept some small culture of disease causing bacteria, that is Staphylococcus, and he has added a fungus in the same petri dish and kept it overnight, and in the next day when he has seen that the area where fungus is present, that area is prohibited for bacteria. Means the both cannot live together, and this fungus has killed most of the bacteria, and there is just empty space between this fungus and bacteria. Means bacteria cannot grow near this fungus, that is penicillin. Means this bacteria growth is stopped or inhibited due to the fungus. Means he came to conclusion that this fungus can kill these bacteria, and he thought that many different types of fungi or bacteria can act against different types of other bacteria. So in this way he discovered the first antibiotic, that is penicillin. And the other commonly used antibiotics are streptomycin, tetracycline and erythromycin. One more important point about antibiotics is that they act against only bacterial diseases. They cannot act against the viral diseases or viral infections. And you should remember that you should not take antibiotics without doctor's prescription, as these antibiotics can kill the useful bacteria which are present inside our body. And if you take the antibiotics when not needed or in wrong doses, it may make the drug less effective when you might need it in future. So this care you should take. Now next is vaccine. So first we will understand the action of vaccine. When a disease carrying microbe enters our body, the body produces antibodies to fight the invader. Invader means the disease causing microbe. The body also remembers how to fight the microbe if it enters again. If dead or weakened microbes are introduced into a healthy body, the body fights and kills the invading bacteria by producing suitable antibodies. The antibodies remain in the body and we are protected from the disease causing microbes forever. This is how a vaccine works. Several diseases including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox and hepatitis can be prevented by vaccination, which is not possible earlier. The first vaccine was discovered by Edward Jenner for smallpox in 1798. In your childhood, you must have been given injections to protect yourself against several diseases like polio. And in your home also, some people come to your home for giving you polio drops. In your childhood, you had taken various vaccines, that why you are safe today and you are living a healthy life. And due to these vaccines, your body is able to fight against various diseases. Otherwise you might have facing lot of problems today. Now next use is increasing soil fertility. Some bacteria are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich soil with nitrogen and increases its fertility. So these microbes are commonly called as biological nitrogen fixers. So some bacteria like azotobacter or nitrogen fixing, blue-green algae and rhizobium. So these all bacteria are present in the root nodules of leguminous plant. Leguminous plants are those like pulses, beans and peas. So these are the leguminous plants. So these nitrogen fixing bacteria are fixing the atmospheric nitrogen, that is gaseous nitrogen, into soluble nitrates. And when these soluble nitrates are mixed in the soil becomes rich in nitrogen, and these nitrates can be absorbed by plants' roots, and plants can synthesize their protein with the help of these nitrates. And this, when the plants grow properly, and these healthy plants can be consumed with the help of by the other organisms for their nutrition. In this way, soil fertility is increased with the help of this nitrogen fixing bacteria. This topic we are going to learn in more detail in nitrogen cycle. Now next topic is cleaning the environment. You can do an activity, you can take two pots A and B, and you can put a plant waste in pot A and the things like polythene bags, empty glass bottles and broken plastic toys in pot B, and put the pots aside for 3-4 weeks. And after 3-4 weeks, do you find any difference between these two pots? Yes, you will find different things in different pots. In pot A, you will find that the plant waste has been decomposed and converted to soil, but in pot B there is no change. The polythene bags, empty glass bottles and broken plastic toys remained as it is. So what is the reason behind this? The reason is that microorganisms decomposes dead organic waste. Organic waste means that is related with plants and animals, means living things. So these microorganisms decompose dead organic waste of plants and animals and converting them into simpler substances. These substances are again used by other plants and animals, and these substances are acting as manure. So thus microorganisms can be used to degrade the harmful and smelly substances and thereby clean up the environment. But on the other hand, the plastic bags and broken glass pieces cannot be decomposed as they are non-biodegradable. We have studied biodegradable substance and non-biodegradable substances in the previous classes. So this plastic, glass and other things are pollutants. They are non-biodegradable. They cannot be converted to soil again because their decomposition require thousands of years. That's why you can see that in pot A, the plant waste has been decomposed. It means the microorganisms has done the purpose of cleaning. If you imagine, you can imagine if microbes were not there, then everywhere the dead bodies of plants and animals were seen and we are not able to live properly. So due to these microbes, they are cleaning the environment from plant and animal waste. So in this way, we have covered the topic useful microorganisms. I hope you have understood this topic properly. Now in the next video, we will discuss the next topic, harmful microorganisms. So thank you for listening this video. I hope you enjoyed this topic. Thank you. Good day.